Joining me now, as promised, Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton, who you just heard questioning Secretary Mayorkas. Senator, excuse me, good to have you here today. Here's the rest of that exchange. You asked him if he thought that it's more important to give payments to families who were separated in the border under the prior administration or to those who lost their lives, American citizens who fought for our country. And here's what he said.
I think that the families of those who lost their lives wearing our nation's uniform are our greatest responsibility as a nation.
So is that the policy that we're seeing being carried out, Senator?
No, Martha, it's not. I mean, Joe Biden wasn't even aware that his administration was going to pay reparations up to $450,000 per person for illegal migrants who were detained during the Trump administration. And then I guess his staff told him a couple days later he came out and gave a fiery defense of it. But I think most Americans would agree that it's appalling that we're going to reward illegal migrants, therefore get more of them, paying them 4.5 times more than the families of American troops killed in the line of duty would receive from the government.
So, you know, with regard to what's in this Build Back Better program, and we see the president taking a victory lap for the infrastructure bill, which was signed and passed into law yesterday. And now the attention is turning to this Build Back Better program, which is just under $2 trillion of social programs, climate change, and elder care, child care. But when you dig into it and you start to look at some of these things, and I don't know what's going to end up in this bill and what isn't, but one of the things that's in there is that if you are in the country illegally, so now we're talking about not only reparation payments, but also a $300 check per child, throughout the course of the year.
Yeah, well, Martha, if I have anything to say about it, hopefully nothing will end up in that bill because it won't pass. But I commend you for doing a little light bedtime reading, all 2,100 pages of the Democrats' reckless tax and spending bill, and finding what you might call a turtle on the fence post, which didn't get there by itself or by accident. The Democrats went out of their way to repeal the pre-existing requirement that you have a Social Security number to benefit from these massive monthly checks. They did that specifically because they want to send checks each month to illegal aliens. If you've got a family of 3, you'd be getting $10,000 from the U.S. taxpayer if you're in this country illegally. Once again, that's only going to provoke more illegal migrants crossing our border, adding to the $1.7 trillion we've already had this year, which itself is 3 times more than we had last year.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, it's obviously you want to help people and you want to make them comfortable. You look at Social Security is about to run out, and these are the kind of things that Senator Manchin has been talking about for why he thinks that we just can't pass this because we can't pay for it, because we can't pay for the entitlements that we already have and that people have already paid into. Those are already running out of money. So it's just a question of where it's all going to come from. A lot of focus on Vice President Harris in the past few days. Here's an exchange with Secretary Mayorkas about whether or not she is, what her responsibility actually is with regard to the crisis that we're seeing at the southern border. Watch this.
Vice President Harris, our border czar, what kind of grade would you give her?
Vice President Harris is not the border czar. Vice President Harris has been asked by the President of the United States to focus on root causes.
And how have we figured out, how that is going in terms of alleviating the pressure of people coming to the southern border? Has anything changed with regard to that?
No, Martha, it hasn't. And Kamala Harris's touch on the border, it's just like her touch on everything. It's the reverse Midas touch. Everything she touches turns to lead, and that's one reason why her and her boss's approval ratings are sinking so low.
All right. Well, we'll see where it goes. Thank you very much, Senator. Good to have you with us today.
Thank you, Martha.
Sir.